There's just some things he do in this movie where, all right, I can take a lot of dumb things, and I've been defending you, but that shit right there, that is too goddamn dumb, okay? Hey everyone, my birthday trip to Costa Rica is coming up in September, courtesy of Trova Trip, and we already have people signed up for this, but we need 4 more people to sign up for this trip. So please come in and take advantage of this early bird special, but also the next 4 people to sign up can take advantage of this code right here for extra discount. So click the link below in the description and let's make this trip happen. Also check out our Patreon, which includes exclusive content, including a new show featuring Martin and myself where we discuss classic films. Drop! Y'all, I'm about to drop this review right here for y'all, and this is about Violet. Violet, who plays her?
Megan Fahey.
Yeah, Fahey, the Fahey, Megan Fahey with her pretty ass. You think guys would, be throwing themselves at this fine ass woman right here, but she got some baggage, man. She a lot of baggage. She just, she came out of a relationship, let's just say, that was not very good, and she has a son in that previous relationship, and so she's just been worried about her kid, trying to get Violet's head together, trying to live for Violet. But she finally decides to get out there and starts dating with this handsome man right here named Henry. Henry, played by, y'all might recognize this dude from show him again. Where is he? Oh fuck y'all! There he is right there. Henry, who is played by Brandon Sklenar.
And when have we seen him in before?
You probably didn't see it, but man, that movie that's catching, that's the drama behind the movie is bigger than the movie now.
Oh.
The movie with Blake Lively.
Oh.
Yeah. It ends with us, or it starts with us, or whatever. Yeah. He's probably the most normal thing from that movie, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was a nice guy in that movie. Real nice guy in this movie right here. Like, you're kind of happy for her. Fine. This is great. She's finally starting to get a little bit of happiness, starting to get a break. But then somebody always got to be an asshole about something. So they start sending her these memes.
These drops.
Yeah, they dropping these memes on her. And first of all, listen, when you're on a date, ain't nobody trying to mess with no memes,
Right.
Playing around.
Yeah, especially when somebody's playing around the phone in the restaurant. But these are no ordinary memes, y'all. These memes are saying, they listen.
They're personal.
Yeah, they're personal, they're kind of funny, they're goofy, and also they're saying, hey, that guy in front of you, kill his ass. Don't ask why. Don't do anything crazy. Don't stand up. Don't be looking at people. Sit your ass down and just do what we tell you. Or else, that or else is always like, we'll kill your mama, your daddy, your sister. In this case, it's her kid.
Right.
Oh, that's cold blooded. Look at that. They got a guy in the house waiting for your ass to mess up. We wish you would. We do that. The little far-eyed nerd you got right there. Gonna catch one of the head. You think we playing? Will the date go well? Well,
will they get a second date?
Let's go ahead. Is the movie any good? Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Drop, and we'll be back with our reviews.
Oh, wow. Did you mean to dress like a candy cane?
I don't think I should go. I love you. Thank you.
Have fun.
That's something they do in movies all the time. Now, this woman, she ain't been on a date for a while, but she ain't stupid, all right? No woman would put this on. No woman would. I don't care how long it's been.
You have to question why she ever had that in her closet at any time. Like, I get it. Like, so maybe you got something that's outdated. It's never a good time to wear that.
Were you a former clown or something? You have a red nose and a wig in there and a horn. I'm like, come on now, it ain't been that goddamn long. Movies always do that though. Yeah. Oh, I don't know how to dress. It's been so long.
Go. And you are the first guy who didn't ask for feet pics.
It's a second date thing.
Shit like this, it's just childish.
I know.
It's like, come on, man, get to the point. Like, the dude is messing with. It's already messed up what you asked her to do. Come on, man. Don't be sending bad memes.
Need this.
It's just dumb kids trying to mess with you.
You're just gonna keep answering your phone during this day.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
I'm gonna just go ahead.
Right,
And
go ahead.
If
I leave, she wouldn't
clearly
even
you got
recognize.
stuff going on.
Right.
So
Shit, I got 2 more waiting on me, baby. Deal with this bullshit here.
Please. What do you want from me?
All right, hell, they just telling you the whole damn movie right here. Shit. What's wrong with trailers today? I've seen the movie, even I'm getting mad right now. Come on now, shit. Stop spoiling things.
you thought that was a spoiler?
I think they're showing way too much in this trailer. I don't know if you
Because they gotta entice you.
Yeah.
I think some things are not exactly spoiler, but this is the word everybody likes to use today. Spoiler adjacent, spoiler-ish. I think they're just showing way too much.
Okay.
I think they're showing just way too much here. But
wasn't that already the plot though?
What's
like
that?
That some person, whatever, wants like the date to get killed. Wasn't that already the plot?
Well, I'm
That
not
was
saying
already-
that. I'm not saying, man, look, I ain't saying don't show anything. I ain't crazy. Kill your date. Come on, man. Shit. Save something for the movie.
You're gonna show the actors? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, get out of here. So listen, you make a good point though, because listen, we have all seen some version of this movie before, a lot. What you have here is a nice, regular person who is being forced to commit a murder, or else someone dies. You know how it is, y'all. Like I said, you've seen it before. This is a combination of immediately what I thought of with this, because even though there's a lot of versions out there, there were 2 that I thought of immediately, and one of them is this movie right here.
So are you heading home?
Yeah, that's actually my seat.
You're kidding. You tell the flight attendant and your dad.
Your dad dies. So with,
Man, that Cillian Murphy is a hot chick.
he sure is. That's what I was thinking. I was expecting her to be like, "That's my seat, ma'am." Like he looks like a hot lesbian chick.
Like a Ruby Rose or something.
Yeah, like a chick that, a lesbian chick that's hot and tries to like hide it by being a tomboy, and it's like, nah, you still fine as hell.
Yeah, right.
He's that dude that like, don't go to jail. Looking like that. Day one. Said,
Waiting on your ass.
He was in a movie where he dressed up like an Indian chick, like a Native American chick, and I was like, man, don't do that no more. Whatever you do, don't put that shit on no more, because I might have to get your ass. But with this movie is where it starts out with the woman who's meeting a handsome guy, or in our case, pretty guy, and things get dangerous. She tells somebody he's going to kill her father because they have some big thing going on, some big plan. Except here, in this movie that we're talking about, Drop, we're not exactly sure if the handsome guy did it, or are we? We don't know. Anybody's a suspect. Also feels like a very recent movie that came out on Netflix.
Ethan, today is a day that you're going to remember for a very long time, but if you handle it right, you're going to have a chance to forget it. Just relax, okay?
And so here's another one, except we know who the killer is immediately, but it's the same kind of format where, you're looking around and it could be anybody.
Right. And they're forcing you to do something against your will.
Exactly. Why you have to keep quiet and try to figure a way out of it. But all the formats involve the same thing, like we were just saying, somebody trying to figure their way out of a situation without bringing attention to themselves and without getting anybody killed. This too has become somewhat, I don't know if you guys would agree with this, but it feels like it's become somewhat of a subgenre of its own too. Now the fun is...
It has now.
Yeah, now.
I would say so.
Yeah, because now it's just fun to see what new spin they're going to take on it. What new setting is going to be. What is the situation going to be this time? But the biggest thing that most of these have in common is that they make no goddamn sense. Hardly any of them. And I say this because whatever plan that the villain or the mastermind had here, it would never work. That shit is stupid and it would never come together. And it's always some convoluted bullshit that they'd never get away with it. In fact, the closer that they get to actually killing their target, the dumber the plan is. The more that they actually are getting themselves in trouble because they're going to get caught, because it would never work. It would never work. This one, in this movie, is probably the dumbest one yet. I'm gonna threaten somebody with memes the whole time. You know, that's I know they want to put like a modern technical spin on it, but I was like, okay, that's just ridiculous.
That's for the kids.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it's very obvious as that.
Yeah.
However, the beauty of this format, subgenre, or whatever you want to call it, at least for me, I can't speak for the rest of these men in the room. Our boys. no, I am, man.
That was Unc. What happened?
Uncle Green. I can't speak for this man, Uncle Green over here. But if they're done decent, for a lot of people, they can work. Not for everybody, but you know, most of these movies that I see, and I know the moment that I get in there, just like anybody else. You know, because I think that's one of the things with these movies. The audience knows. When they get in here, they know this is going to be far-fetched. They know it's going to be ridiculous when they first get in here. They know the plan is stupid. We go to see movies to see far-fetched stuff like this. We know it. But I believe that for a lot of these movies, and I think that this is the case with this movie too. Like I said, just for me, I believe that, you know, if the pace is done well, if we like our characters and we relate to them to the point where we wonder what would we do in that situation, then it can work. You know, there's enough there to keep us distracted from, you know, this obvious silly plan they got going on. You know, and that's what movies, a lot of movies are. I mean, you go see a heist movie, that work. You know, come on. Most of the time, you know, Ocean's 8 or Ocean's 11 or whatever number we on. Mm-hmm. Ocean's 11, you watch that plan would never work. But who cares? We're just there for the ride. We're there for the fun. And I think there's a lot of things that work here besides the pacing that I just talked about. But like I said, I don't know if that works for everybody. You know, that's why I'm curious to see. And I don't know if that worked for you guys.
Well, okay, so big thing for me was I saw this at South by Southwest. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, it was the very first movie I saw at South by Southwest. That's why I wasn't at the screening. I caught it there. And I gotta give props to the rep who let me in. I didn't even have to use a badge. And you know, audience was pretty jazzed for it. Pretty fired up. And yeah, man, you know, it's a very stylish movie. It's got a great look to it. You know, and it's got the pacing and it's a taut thriller. And yeah, I was super happy to be there. But I found it dumb as shit and I just could not get into it. I tried. Yeah, I really tried.
No, it is dumb.
That's the thing.
And it's the thing, like when you talk, I mean, look, it's got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. So people,
it does?
It's got a what?
90%.
Oh, hell no.
90%. People are clearly loving it. Even the people who are like, well, you know, it doesn't all match up. But I was like the whole thing where you put yourself in the shoes of the main, and say, what would I do? And I kept trying to do that. I was like, I wouldn't let these shenanigans play out. This would never happen. And yes, you're right. The closer it gets to what the plan is, I was like, this just keeps getting dumber. And part of what made me reject it was that, man, you got a lot of spectacle going on here, a lot of great camera tricks and doing all these things, but it's all smoke and mirrors. You're doing all this to just try to distract us or me from what is here. And I'm not going with it. I saw you palm that ball and put it in the back of your pants, man. What that it's not working.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Well, you know, it's either going to work for people or not. And a lot of these movies, that's how they are. You know, if you can't buy into it, if you're not, you know, if the stupidity of the plan is just so glaring that you cannot see past that, then you're not gonna like it.
Well, the thing, it's directed by Chris Landon, who did the Happy Death Day, and he co-wrote Hard Eyes. So like doing like humor and comedy or thrillers, that's his thing. Yeah. And I was kind of watching it thinking like, okay, the humor's gonna kick in because this is so silly. And I'm like, oh, you playing this shit straight. Oh, okay, bro, you gotta play to your strengths, man.
Well, I'm the person that saw you put the ball in your pants. I'm like, do it again. That was fun. I like this. And I'll tell you what worked for me in the movie. So, one, I think one of the things that worked for me here is, well, besides just being very aware for going in how ridiculous this is going to be, the awkwardness of the first date. You know, because they go in and they're already a cute couple. The date has eventually hit his groove. And then, like I said, somebody decides to be an asshole and ruin it with threats of murder. Now, you know, you're already kind of cringing seeing Violet just keep making excuses to keep getting up. And seeing Henry trying to be nice, because Henry at a point, you know, he's understanding. And then he's like, okay, what the hell is going on? And then he's like, all right, I'm going to be patient a little bit longer. And then finally, this bitch is crazy. You know, I don't know what's happening with her. And then like, all right, I made a mistake. And it's just, you know, it's, you know, you cringe when you watch it because they're both a cute couple and you want to see them actually work out because the date is going well after a nervous start. And then it's just, you know, it just gets really awkward to watch her keep getting up. And we know why she's getting up, but Henry doesn't know why. The staff doesn't know why when she's requesting all these crazy things. And it's all based on this person that's trying to get her to commit this horrible crime. So first of all, that was something that made me like the movie. Another thing is you say that there's no humor. I actually thought that there was a lot of humor.
Laughing our asses off.
Yeah, I actually thought there was a lot of humor in this. And I thought that's one of the things that actually helped with the pacing of the film. Because I think, again, it depends on whether you can buy into it. Because if you can't, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And respect that. I see that because I think, again, there's a lot of these movies function that way. But I think the pacing was done well because they did have moments of self-awareness here with the humor. They know this movie's ridiculous. Matt, the server who kept coming in.
He was funny.
Yeah, this dude. Yeah, so there's a guy Jeffrey Self who plays his server here. He's an improv guy, and y'all. This is why I don't like improv because everybody who does improv, he kind of nailed it. Everybody does improv. They always want to do improv. They always improv. And this dude is trying to do his material while these people on a date.
Bro, and think about it. It was his first day too. Yeah, this shit about to be
and
worse.
they're both kind of like, man, look, we engaging, but get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
You know, but the dude played him was funny.
Oh, yeah.
Jeffrey Self is hilarious, man. I like this guy a lot. Also, with the movie, I thought that there was a little bit of, and when you have a thriller like this, a mystery thriller like this, it's always, it's boring now to even say Hitchcock. But
they love to throw that term out there, though.
Yeah, Hitchcockian. I got a cocky for you. But with this, I do think that there's a certain level, just a little bit, of Rear Window in there. You know, just like because the movie itself has some sort of voyeuristic fun with it, you know, looking around, seeing who's actually probably doing this. And while they're doing this and they're looking around to first of all see who's just sending the memes to the point where now it's getting dangerous, who is doing this, they got to peek in on other people's dates. And it was just kind of fun looking at what was going on around them too in the restaurant. So, you know, as you can see, I enjoyed this obviously more than you did. Hey, look, what's up with you, man?
So
Uncle Green.
But I'm more on your side. I definitely did have fun with it. Like you said earlier, I was kind of like putting myself in her shoes. And I was like, all right, what would I do in the situation? You know what I'm saying? Now, I know the whole entire thing was kind of stupid. I thought kind of how it started out was stupid because they were like, he waited for months to get on this date and then they went there for their first date. I was like, I don't know about all that. I thought that was kind of goofy.
They ain't a dog like you.
Man, come on, bro.
Everybody trying to hit on the first date like you.
Bro, that was months.
Yeah, man. He found the one.
And this,
he's trying to be a gentleman.
And this time, ain't no way.
Ain't nobody trying to hit and quit like you.
Why'd you have a problem with where he took her?
And that's where you going for first date? I'm like, damn.
Man, he been talking to her for months. Listen,
first of all, I ain't waiting months to go on dates for nowhere.
But you're 27.
Yeah,
I'm just
even though you're old to 21-year-olds, like you said.
No, everybody's doing that now. Ain't nobody waiting that long.
Man, listen, these people are in their mid to late 30s or whatever, mid 30s, and you know they go to do professional things. They ain't trying to hit the club like you. Go to a bar real quick and get a cheap drink, and then go home and start trying to have sex.
But look, I did like when they were on a date because I thought it did feel authentic. Because you see them, they're both like nervous. You know, so I'm like, if I was on a date or my first date talking to a girl, it would probably go something like this. Not the whole meme and, you know.
I'll be trying to kill my date.
Actually, I want not at a restaurant where you're going to pay $200 a plate.
Yeah. Depending on the
girl. Julian, let's get real.
Yeah,
what girl you spending $200 on?
Exactly.
If it was one of them
Julie, you don't want to spend $20 on a girl.
It depends on the girl. Like, if it was one of them girls, some mean girls, some shit like that.
How about her? Would you spend $200 on her?
I think about it.
Yeah, you would.
Wait. Is the baggage coming with her? Like the kids?
Okay, let's take that out. She's single.
She's single.
Yeah.
Never had no kids.
$200 chick right here.
Yeah,
no, come on, you gotta think about it. No,
what type of job?
Oh, come on, man. What, now she want a sugar mama? What the hell?
She making good money.
Get the hell out of here, you cheap bastard. You.
But so I did like it for that aspect. But I thought the movie was trying to be clever and it wasn't really working because I hate when movies do this. They try to make everyone look like a suspect. And I'm like, that don't work. Especially in this movie, it don't really work. Because you have some characters that are like, they do creepy shit for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to spoil nothing. But there's one character that comes to my mind. I'm like, so this character's creepy for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Just because the movie's telling them to do it.
I tell you, I'm with you. As I said before, I enjoy very much watching Violet and Henry, especially Henry. Man, Henry he's charming, but they're not trying to make him too smooth. He's just as nervous as Violet, right. So he comes across as a regular guy. And I really gravitated toward these characters, man. I like them. I think that they use the space well. Because like I said, it works well as both a thriller and sort of a bottle action film, a bottle thriller.
Well, I saw a featurette where they created that like a real restaurant and had everybody acting like they were serving in a restaurant.
Oh, I figured it was a set.
Yeah. But it wasn't just like you see like how they constructed it and all the other actors playing servers, like they're actually serving as if they worked in a restaurant.
Yeah.
They're like even back in the kitchen, that's a functioning kitchen where they're actually cooking the food that's being brought out.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, I figured it was a set that they built, but I think they used and it has to be, because they use the space very well. Bottle thriller, when they say a bottle film, it mostly takes place in one tight location, and this is sort of a bottle thriller where, I think they use the location very well. You guys have your complaints, and I'm sitting up here, it's not like I'm gushing over this movie, but it is when we go from a tight thriller to big money action in this movie.
Oh yeah,
this is when they decide to show you yeah, we got money. Because listen, this takes place at a high rise restaurant. If anything in a thriller or an action movie is taking place in high anything. Treehouse, anything. Somebody dangling from that building.
Yeah. They're gonna use to the advantage.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say, that's cool. Go ahead. Let me see here. No, go ahead, man. Some of it I don't mind at the climax of this movie. Go ahead. Dangle from that building the building right there. You built that set, you set it up to be there. Of course you're gonna use it. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the high rise. Do those big stunts right there. But the problem for me is that the climax is extremely rushed.
I thought that too.
I don't want to spoil anything right here, but it is so rushed that this woman right here, it's like a video game. She fast travels from the restaurant to the house. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, there's no goddamn way that you did that in that amount of time for what is happening in this situation. No, hell no. And then when you get there, the whole thing takes a predictable turn anyway. Then it turns into an action film, and we know everything that's gonna happen. We know who's catching a bullet. We know who's gonna live. We know. We know they're gonna do something cute and for her to defeat the people out there. It's listen. Also, there's just some things they do in this movie where, all right, I can take a lot of dumb things, and I've been defending you, but that shit right there, that is too goddamn dumb, okay? If you puncture a window, it don't work that, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. If you put a hole in a window, I don't care how high that building is, unless we go into space or something, it don't work like that.
I know.
They treat this building like it's pressurized underwater.
I know.
You got to turn the brain off.
That's the thing. It's one thing to have this thriller going on that's supposed to be so, taut as they say. And yeah, you're right. That's all the red herrings and trying to make everybody seem creepy and suspect. I was like, there ain't that many people here. That's an obvious fake out. You're trying to manufacture tension here. Then the more you get to whatever the actual plot, the villain's plan, you're like, this makes no sense. You guys have gone you have circumnavigated the globe to come right back to where you are. There's a much easier way to accomplish than what you're trying to do here. But then when you get to the climax, it breaks out into this crazy action movie that was like, where'd this come? Now we're in a different movie altogether.
And everybody turns into Dominic Toretto and shit.
Yeah.
Everybody bulletproof.
Yeah, everybody bulletproof. Everybody can damn drift and drive cars.
Right.
It's like, it's and I don't mind turning to an action film because a lot of movies at the climax, they do pump up the action. It's just that this went too fast.
Too furious.
Too furious. I didn't know who did it. I would say that. I didn't even try to guess who did it.
What's the point in guessing?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The way they did it, was just like, it could be anybody. The way they set these people up.
When you figure out who did it, you're like, how does that make any sense? How was this person able to do this and that? Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. How did they do it? Why did they do it?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, man, you're the world's smartest idiot.
I got the why, but how?
Shit, at the end, I said, hell, for all I know, that little boy probably set up everything. I don't know what they.
That'd have been a good twist.
I would have gone with that. Pull some Book of Henry shit.
Kill mommy, and I'll split the money with you. No, listen. Only thing I can say is it was when you see who actually did do it. It's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, this plan is dumb because they don't know what they would do it. Whoever would set it up. So I looked at it that way. I think there was enough. I'll say this, man. Listen, for most of the film, I did have a good time. Like I said, I don't expect everybody going into this like I do. I go in knowing that this is probably going to be a dumb plan. I've seen these movies over and over again. But like I said, if you pace it well enough and you deliver the thrills, and I think there's enough humor in here to actually make some of the sillier aspects easier to take. I for the most part I have fun with it. I think it's enjoyable. I think it's the kind of movie that you go to see matinees for, and that's what I'm giving this. I'm giving it just a plain matinee. I had a good time, and I do think that the thrills, as silly as they are, they also work sometimes too.
What do you think about how they were showing the text messages? Like
ridiculous, just as stupid as anything else. All this shit is dumb. None of this makes sense. None of this. I mean, from the beginning, look. The moment I watched this movie, I was like, none of this is gonna make sense. All right. Yeah. Nothing. This is movie stuff right there. So anyway.
Yeah, movie stuff. That's it is. Like even with the date. I'm sorry. What's the male? What the boyfriend?
His name's Henry.
Henry. Yeah. Even with Henry, I was like, boy, Henry, he's a nice guy, and that seems to be about it. He don't even have that much of a personality, other than that he's thirsty.
You thought he was thirsty? I thought he was a nice guy.
Dude, he waited months and months for this date.
I don't know if that's thirst. I think that's just kind of like, hey, I like this chick. We're gonna take our time.
And then stuck around through all that.
Right, but like no regular guy's gonna sit there.
Thirsty is like somebody wants. This guy he was just being a nice guy. He was trying to be understanding because for one, they did lay it out in the movie that. The reason why he took his time is because, and it's anti-thirst actually, because if he was thirsty, he would have went to some other chick. He's like, I like this girl, I'm getting along with her, but I understand that she's coming out of this weird thing and she has a kid. Yeah. So, at least in my mind.
He didn't know that though.
No,
he did.
Yeah, he did.
No, he knew it like whenever she told him on the date.
No, he knew that before.
He knew about like her backstory.
They talked about it.
No, I remember she spilled it out on the date. She was like, well, this happened. This is my previous boyfriend.
Well, she might have spelled out some of the details, but he knew that she was a single mom and that she had, some other thing going on, So they did establish that. So it was kind of like he just kind of enjoyed company with her. And that's the way I saw it. I mean, other people might see it differently, but he enjoyed her company and he was willing to wait because he knew that she had a lot going on.
Yeah, no, I get that. But at this date, there's just a ton of red flags being fired off. And he's not even like having an expression like, oh no, should I leave?
It was either he really wanted some pussy or
I gotta defend this. No, it was not that. I don't think they. I don't think
so
that.
you tell me if you want to date with a girl and her phone kept going off, she kept looking at everything. You wouldn't just get up and walk away.
He was trying to be nice, and then look. I don't want to spoil too much because there's a point in the movie where he's that person that we're talking about. Yeah. Like he's tired of it, and then something happens.
Well, yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
he decides to stay.
Like an hour later.
So yeah, listen, I'm not trying to like I said, I understand if y'all don't get the movie or anything, but I don't think this guy was. He was like, no, I don't think all hard. He was thirsty and everything. He was actually a nice guy. You know?
But okay, if he had been though, I would understand his motivation.
But yeah, I would too.
But I'm just a generic. I'm just a nice guy who, I'm here for you no matter what. And I was like. You don't even know her. Maybe have a little bit of self-agency to go like, okay, what the hell is going on?
He did at some point.
But that happened so later.
So long. I guarantee nobody in this room would have waited that long.
I can tell you what happened.
You would have been left for sure.
Oh, no. Oh, hell yeah. Shit, all right, yeah, you got me. I would have left my ass there. Yeah. Shit, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I would have left too, yeah.
I'm paying $400 for you to be on your phone the whole time. Yeah,
shit, I would have sent some memes.
Get off your goddamn phone.
Yeah. I would have killed her. Yeah, give me that poison shit. No, but man, I don't want to spoil anything, but there was something she did in the movie. Hell, it probably would have worked on me. She did something to bring his ass back. Yeah, I would have been out this. I would have been out that bitch.
Oh boy. Yeah, at the risk of adding to my Martin don't like nothing reputation.
Hey, everybody used to it now.
Yeah, man. It's just some about, I know you watch a movie, there's gonna be unlikely coincidences. Every piece of fiction is built on that. And yeah, things are going to get a little far-fetched because everybody wants the next thrill. But this was a bridge too far and too early on in the movie.
Enough is too much.
Yeah, I was just like, oh no, we're not doing this already. The movie barely been on 15 minutes. This is what we're doing. And it just kept going and going and going. And I couldn't find an entry point for me to where I could enjoy it. I could appreciate what went into it. I think the production looks great. But like I said, all the camera work, the camera tricks, they're just there just to, as a distraction. It's not there to really add anything to it. And I got out of this movie and I had amnesia. Like, I almost couldn't remember anything about it. Okay. Yeah, I had to go back over it again to remind myself, okay, it was this and this and this and this and this. Yeah, I don't begrudge anybody who enjoys it because I think it's a movie like, if it's one of those like, if you want to have the thrill and the fun and you're willing to say like, I'm just going to ignore all the stuff that doesn't make sense and enjoy it, by all means. I just found myself unable to do that. So it was a low rental for me.
So I think I'm kind of like in the middle of both of you guys.
Well, I was about to say your ass was laughing the whole time. You come here, acting a fool now.
I was in the middle. Yeah, I think in the first half, man, I was generally having fun, especially the whole date thing. I'm like, damn, if this was me on a first date, I'd be the same way as them, nervous. You know what I'm saying? How they're acting. But I think as the movie kind of went along, the writing started to get worse, especially when that reveal takes place on the screen and you're like, oh, this is the person that's behind the whole entire thing. I thought that was lazy, and I was just like, ever since that reveal happened, I was just like, I'm not having fun with this movie anymore. I know you saw me not stop. I wasn't laughing after that. Once that reveal hit, I was
you laugh.
No, what? Not after the reveal. I was kind of like, all right, I think I'm ready to go home. I think it's the movie is fun in my eyes up until that point. And when that point hits, this shit becomes crazy. Like y'all said earlier, Fast and Furious. Like for real. Everybody's bulletproof. I gotta give it a little matinee.
Low matinee. Okay,
Yeah.
There you go. We weren't too far.
No.
I was saying. I know your ass was over there giddy and shit.
Yeah, no, I was laughing. That's because they throw so many jokes. Shit, you gotta laugh at something.
You have no choice. They beat you down.
You gotta laugh at something.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him, so I had to laugh.
Oh, that's right. You stop laughing, you start getting those memes in the movie. Kill Corey. No, it's silly. But like I said, depends on your threshold.
Yeah, I just had to turn my brain off, man.
Yeah, that wasn't hard to do. Hey, man, I can take it, man. Come on. All right, y'all. I'm sorry, sir. But would you look at that? You made it to the end of the video. That means you really like us. So just go ahead and press that like button and subscribe while you're at it. And check out our other channels, our social media like Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon, where we have new stuff coming up all the time. And we'll see you on the next video.